Welcome to the Reidsville Chamber of Commerce News and Views show. I'm your host, Diane Sawyer, President and CEO of the Chamber. Today I have a Meet the Board member and Chamber champion, and I would love to welcome to the show Reverend Wes Pitts with First Presbyterian Church.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited for you to be here. You are stepping into like all the things.
A lot of things.
I'm sure your wife is like, Wes, what did you do again?
Every
But
day?
no, it's great because, you know, when you first came, you did your kind of your first round of I'm jumping in all the things, right? And then you've kind of picked and done, and you're like, okay, this is the route I want to go. And so now you're kind of doing like that second round of let's pick up some other things. Kids are getting older, getting involved in some of that stuff. So that's exciting because when you came to us, I knew immediately, like you knew all the language, you knew all the things. We were talking about Chamber and Main Street program and community. And I have been super impressed by your level of commitment to the community. And we love having new folks come and kind of see things with a different perspective. So
It's been a great place to live, to work, to get to know. Like you said, I mean, I came, and whenever you move to a new place, you have to figure out the feel of the community, get involved. And so I was happy to kind of dive in as much as I could. COVID kind of screwed that up a little bit, but still dove in as much as I possibly could, get to know this community. And I've really found that one of the best places to engage, to learn, to build relationships, to support is through the Chamber. And so being able to step up my time and energy, and then also our church's connection with the Chamber has been really good.
Well, I love what the church is doing, and I love it because I think a lot of people, by now, I've been doing this almost 16 years, a lot of people know that my previous background was public health education, and I think we talked about this before. Like, I really believe in the circle of wellness and how that applies to the community, and the faith-based community is such a piece of that, and it plays such an integral role. And a lot of times people don't necessarily see the benefit or why a church would be a member of the Chamber, but as we have found over the years, it has become more difficult than it used to be for the churches to connect with the community. And so by default, like you've been connected to and been a part of so many things that have enabled you to make those connections and relationships for the church. And
with the city, with other churches, with for-profit businesses. I mean, our Chamber membership is paid every year in the savings just through the relationships that I have made through the Chamber. Our dumpster service is a great example. First Piedmont, we switched to them, get better service, and it costs half the price. And the only reason I knew to do that is because I met Chad, we talked, got the service switched over. It more than pays for our membership and almost all of our Chamber champion too.
It's amazing.
And so being able to build those relationships and in so many different ways, if it's a need that the church has or a way that we can use what we have to support the community, we are able to build all of that in such a meaningful way.
That is such a powerful example because, a First Piedmont has publicly said before, like we're involved in a lot of areas, but Reidsville's just different. And I love that. I love that testimony of the relationships and how all of that's built. But, I think about on a smaller scale, being in the know and knowing what's happening. Like you guys added on to the trick or treat event by having this really great hot dog supper and free to the community. And like, it is so important in this day and age for, I think, families especially, to see the love of like God and to see like the love of the church and how, because there's so many things that detract from that and there's so much noise, right? And so, but what's really important about that is y'all have taken that a step further with the mental health services and things that you're doing because it's such a need. As our Leadership Rockingham group found out this week when we toured the entire courthouse and they saw from the clerk of court's office to we were in an elder abuse trial that was going on in a courtroom. to the district attorney's office and the things that she had to say, to then going over to the Square One Family Justice Center and hearing from them. And so being able and hearing that essentially how much of our county resources are used to transport. And then we went to the prison, so we were at the jail and they were taking, and not prison, jail, but they were taking prisoners to other places. And when they found out our resources that are used to carry mental health patients of all kinds to other places, because we don't have the resources here.
We don't.
And it's so just tragic. And I think that the things that you guys are doing, love that y'all have Stokes Ann as one of your members, because we have had a long lasting relationship with her through the hospital. And now she's being able to still use her nursing skills and her relationship skills to offer some pretty cool services.
Stokes Ann is amazing. And she's one of the reasons I am in Reidsville. She was on the committee that brought me here. She retired at the end of 24 after years of service with Cone, doing amazing things, but she's not ready to stop serving and wants to see our church do more, which I love as a leader in a church and a leader in the community. I want to see people step up and say, what can I do to help?
Well, yeah, because you can't do it all.
I can't do it all, of course, and it's not my job, it's the church's job.
That's right.
And so we've really seen people step up because of that. And so Stokes Ann, as someone who had been on the Board of Health for the county, she knows so well that our county's 2 of the 3 greatest needs are mental health and substance abuse. And so, our church, that's what we do. And it just so happened that we were able to get a grant at the same time to join a program with the North Carolina Council of Churches to explore how a faith community can do more to support community wellness. And the approach as a faith community, we believe strongly in the idea of shalom. It's frequently translated as just peace, but that's not really what shalom means. It's complete well-being. It's wholeness. And so this idea that as people of faith, we are called to bring people to that shalom. And so, of course, that has to mean our mental health. And right now, mental health is only getting worse. We know that with young people, teenagers, they're struggling. And so we're doing all that we can. We're exploring new ways to bring more programs for folks who struggle with be it addiction or other mental health struggles, finding new ways to connect. We have a long-lasting relationship with the AA program in Reidsville. It's been around for, I think, 77 years, and the vast majority of that, they've been in our church. And now they're there twice a day throughout the week. So every single day of the week, you can come to an AA group at our church, sometimes twice a day. For all but 3 days. So there are just great ways that we're working together and looking to expand. We've offered mental health first aid twice already to the community and have another coming. We're doing some free workshops along with Via Health to bring training and information to the community. And we have a program specifically targeted to teens that is coming. Had to be rescheduled because of the weather, but it will be coming and to work specifically with teen mental health. We have Narcan at our church every day of the week. If someone needs it, we're happy to give it to you. It's expensive to have. If you go to the drugstore, anyone can buy it, but it's more than $40 for just 2 doses. And that can be too expensive. And so we will equip you with it. We will train the community how to use it. We've already done several trainings at our church. I've done them with other pastors. So we're just doing as much as we can to figure out ways to support our community. Just yesterday at Coffee and Connections, I made a connection with Brightview. And so Stokes Ann and I are going next Tuesday to tour and see how we can further develop relationships so that we can support one another.
I saw you walking up to her afterwards. I was excited because I knew that's what that was about.
Oh, yeah.
It makes me so, oh gosh, I hate it when I get like this because I try. But, you know, my oldest will be 15 in April, and she really struggles with anxiety. and OCD and like needing to feel in control of her life and the things around her, her siblings. And I had never really reflected much on and I've talked to you a little bit about this. Like, I had never reflected much on my own struggles with like just the attention and the brain, the noise, right? And so you and I've talked about that. And now I'm seeing like in her, and so the teen thing is so important because they feel alone and they feel isolated and they think no one else hears or sees or feels the things that they do. And so I think for me, like, it just needs to not be this swept under the rug, not talked about. It just needs to be in the light, right? Like, and it's just like a real thing. And I think a lot of people discover that there's a connection there with their faith, because I know for her, she has realized that there are a lot of things that the enemy has like stacked against her. So like, she's trying to figure out like, who is she and where does that fit and how can she be a better example and like be open with things, because she does not care. Like, she will tell you she's not afraid of it, but it's like all those things go together. And like, I've thought about that because the Narcan thing, we have it here. We were able to get some through the Reidsville Area Foundation and what they did with their drive. And I've never asked, and I haven't been officially trained as far as like, I know how to use it, but does it expire?
It does expire. However, it is proven to work 10 years after the expiration date. You're encouraged to get rid of it and replace it as it expires. But if that is what you have available and it's expired, you still use it because it can still save a life.
Yep. Okay. Because we have it here too. Like, because I mean, being the visitor center, there's all kinds of stuff that happens because there are people, and especially when it's warmer, a lot of our homeless population is kind of out and about. And so there's all these really cool things that are coming together. The stuff that you all are doing, learning about Project Lost Sheep and hearing all the stuff. Because people this came up again on Leadership Rockingham on Wednesday and in the courthouse. Like, people hear sextortion or they hear human trafficking and they don't realize that human trafficking or talking about some of that stuff like actually encompasses so many other things, all the way down to the stuff that the kids are experiencing. And
absolutely.
Basically, they explained it Wednesday at the family, just at the Square One Center, like, coercion. Anything that someone is coerced into doing that they don't want to do. And it happens every single day in our schools, every single day. So I just think that having, again, anybody that's willing to talk about these things that will bring it to the light and say, these are the issues we're facing. Like, how do we come together as families, as businesses, as a community? How do we address these things? And you guys are just doing that.
We're doing as much as we possibly can, and have been thrilled that we've been able to build better relationships because of it. We were fortunate enough to get a new staff person last year. Jessica is our director of children's ministry, and she's open about her own family and some of the things that they need. And so she's been working with us to find a way. We realized as we've been looking at the options for families, if there's a family that has struggled with mental illness or addiction or another concern, there's no place to support those kids. There's AA for the folks who have alcohol addiction. The nearest NA there's not one in town. And then there's no Al-Anon, there's no other stuff for support, and that's really for older folks. And so one of the things we're looking at is how do we bring a program where adults who are experiencing addiction or whatever it may be, how do we also have a program for the children so that they are supported and know that they are not alone? And that's something that I hadn't really considered, which is good for me that I haven't had to consider that, but the reality is children are facing a lot. Either they have addiction in their household or social media, they're facing all kinds of stuff, or coercion. It hits in my family. My brother adopted a girl who they learned after the fact that she was being prepared for sex trafficking with an illegal IUD and several things. And so it is real. It hits people everywhere, no matter who you are, no matter your socioeconomic status, no matter your race. It doesn't matter. It will hit. And so we need to do all we can to support our community here and resource it as best as we can.
Yeah, and I think that you hit the nail on the head. It affects everybody because it doesn't matter where you come from, if you're from this community, if you've moved to this community. Jessica is very open about a lot of the things that the kids in her family have faced. And she has one in particular that she had as a baby, but then came back to her later. So there's a lot of struggle there.
And his needs are just the strength that she has to welcome this child into her family. It's to adopt, despite all of those needs, and the amount of work that she has put in to care for him is really incredible. And he was in preschool with my son, and so they know each other, and that's a special relationship.
And I just told her the other day, all of my children are bilingual, and I was talking to her on the phone about something that we'll talk about in a minute, because you've gotten involved in that too. But we were talking, and she was like, and then she just was like, speaking Spanish. And I was like, girl, how old were you when you learned, to speak Spanish? And she's like, and I don't have a choice because he doesn't speak English. Yeah. Like, that is a commitment to speak another language and to learn as an adult because you have to, because you don't
communicate with this
child, with a child
the
who has
child
needs.
And then the father.
Yeah, that too.
The biological father.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and and to spend the time that she is having to on the healthcare side of things, and just it's like you said, it doesn't matter. Like, it touches. Like, I could go through. I have this reference of Wednesday. It blows my mind because every year we take 20 people from leadership to the courthouse for a day as one of the days that we go out and explore and learn about our community. If you haven't been a part of Leadership Rockingham and you want to be, you absolutely should connect with us, because I learn something new every single time, whether it's Reidsville Day or Eden Day or Western Day or whatever day it is. But Rockingham County Day is extremely impactful because people don't understand how we learned about, these are things I knew, but I was prodding along at teach them about bonds, teach them about the class levels, because you see all this stuff on social media. And while social media has been wonderful, there are so many things that it's a detriment to, along with some of it contributes to a lot of these things that we're talking about. But so for me to see so many, I just want to continue to bring positive, good things that people are working on, that are genuinely working, to let people know. Like, I think that First Pres has a long history of being a community-oriented church, but you have taken, as the leader, empowering and encouraging the church to take it to that next level, and bringing in the relationships and putting in the work to do the things. It's amazing to me.
It's a gift to be able to do that. When I was looking for a church which would be my first to serve as pastor, I specifically sought out Reidsville. I had known about it, but I specifically sought it out because of the shape of this community, and knowing that I can be impactful here.
Yep, that's amazing. And there are other ways that folks get involved, and a lot of times they're self-serving, right? But to know that the things that you are doing are really just about making the community a better place, and lifting people up, helping people, reaching out a hand. Right. A lot of folks don't do that without there being some, hidden agenda, or just by default, like it benefits them or their children or whatever, or they're super passionate about it. But
I think, of course, I'm benefited from it, right?
Well, yeah,
because
it's a job.
it's my job, but personally, I'm benefited because I get the relationships.
That's right.
And and it's also, I feel very much called to do this work. And so it is a benefit because I feel like I'm doing what I was made to do, what God made me to do. So it is absolutely fulfilling. Is it exhausting? Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday was more than 12 hours of work. I don't get to spend as much time with my family as I would like, but I try to build that in as much as I can. And so it's hard work. It's not as rewarding, or not as, I don't get the personal benefits of a lot of other things that people might do, but that's not really why I'm in it.
Right, for sure.
Right. It's really to serve, and the satisfaction you get from knowing that you are making a difference and that you're building really strong relationships.
Yeah.
I'm a strong extrovert, so I want to be by people all the time, and so I love it.
Do you ever think that even as an extrovert, does your social battery get drained?
No.
That's amazing.
If I am out doing something, by the time I get home, whereas other people will crash, it'll take me several hours
to wind down.
Yeah. Because I'm just so up and energized.
That's awesome.
And so last night I didn't get home till 8:30, and I probably didn't fall asleep till after 11 because I needed time to actually be able to wind down.
And wind down. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's funny. So one of the things that's happening right now, and today I think is the deadline officially, but the chamber is engaging in a 5-year strategic plan, and we are in the process of trying to figure out. So we are working with this group, NC Growth, and under a grant, and they collected a lot of information from you and other board members and other members throughout a couple things, particularly at the expo in the fall. And now they have given us this survey. They've come to our board retreat. And so it was like, hey, we have this wide funnel. Let's narrow down and focus on some things. You stepped into a role this year as all of this is happening as our chair-elect, which we are super thankful for. Like, talk a little bit about like why you agreed to do that and why that's important and what you think the correlation kind of personally and of the church, why that matters to you.
Well, I chose to do it. Well, first I was asked to be on the board, which I felt very honored to do. And having attended board meetings and getting just that much more involved in building more relationships, I see the value of spending my time doing it. So as the board talked about the next round of who's going to step up, I immediately said, I want to do that. I need to talk to my wife first to make sure she doesn't divorce me. But I want to do that because, for one, I have gifts in leadership, and so why not use them to support something I believe in? But also because obviously there's a lot going on in the chamber right now, and if I can use some of my God-given gifts and talents to support that growth, then I think that will benefit me professionally, personally, the church that I serve, the chamber, and then the wider community, which is why I'm here. And so I'm excited to see what comes out of these conversations, the strategic planning that will help the chamber, but it also helps me in how I lead the church. I get so many ideas about new things to do, new ways to lead. Even Emily, who is part of that group that's coming
NC Growth,
from NC Growth, I'm going to be working with her to do some stuff at the church. She's a divinity student, also Presbyterian. Her husband is a Presbyterian minister, and so we've got all these connections. And so
I know never would have happened.
It never would have happened.
That's so crazy. I didn't know all that had even happened.
Yeah, and so we'll be working. I need to reach out to her, but she has said that absolutely, I'd love to work with y'all to help grow our own mission, and because we need to redevelop mission with all the things that we're doing. So these connections make that happen.
I love it. I did not know that. And she's probably one of my favorite people that has come into in the last few months. Just a real joy. Like very, very smart, very happy. But we had there were some things going on in her family, and so we had the ability to connect with her on a personal level over that, and it just reminded me of. I feel the same way. Like I feel like I'm doing what God made me to do, and I feel like people say, "Oh, what do you think you'll do?" I'm like, "This is it." Like it will always look like loving my community and serving my community and being a part of that. And as long as I'm blessed enough to be in this role and to continue to help people and connect people and you were kind of a witness to some of the things that were happening before we could come on the show. And while some people think maybe that's not my job, like I feel very much so that it's my job, because there was an issue and somebody needed help, and it was somebody that didn't even live here, but they had some things happen in Reidsville. So I just feel like when he was so relieved just to talk to somebody to
because
get
you
answers.
have connections, you have knowledge, and and you're willing to use those to support people, which is what you're supposed to be doing, what all of us should be doing. I'm thankful that you're that type of person, and I try to be that type of person. I'm glad our chamber does that, and I'm glad our community can receive that, and I hope they're more open to receiving that.
I hope so too. I hope that's where we come out of on this side of the strategic plan. Like I felt like people want to refer to it as networking. It's for me, it's not. It's connectivity. It's connections. I just think
networking sounds like a chore.
It does.
And connection is so positive.
And like networking to me is tied to events. Like I don't. People need to understand that it's more about connectivity, and that can look. It could be events, but there's so many other things that it really is about. And so I am excited to see with it. I think I have described going on 16 years, but for me, you were talking about COVID slowing things down. So for me, it was kind of like I look at things in 15 years. There's like the first 5, the middle 5, and the last 5 when I was thinking about the strategic stuff when we started it last year. And like the middle 5 was really difficult because that was like the COVID piece. And then this last 5 has been post. The first 5 was getting my feet wet, learning all the people, making the connections. But this organization, if the folks who are here now were to all leave, it would look very different, because it really is about the human connectivity that we bring. I mean, we are literally like a human 411, and we're very strong, and if I don't know the answer, I'm going to find the person who does, or where to help hand them off to, and that's very important to me. So I'm thankful for y'all. I'm thankful for the church. I'm thankful for you guys being chamber champions, and seeing how investing back in the chamber is really a two-way street. It's tenfold for you all, tenfold for us. Like it enables us to do those things. Also, I just want to mention a little bit, welcome as a new Wentworth PTA Ball board member. That was like a slide in right at the last minute. And but I'm thankful because we need to be passing on to those who have younger children who are getting involved. I thought I was getting out, but I think my kid's going to play again. My oldest, out of all the things, I think my oldest is going to end up playing again. So I may be around, but I have enjoyed working with that program and continuing the legacy that so many before us helped build up. And it's a lot of the business folks that I know through the chamber, which is kind of how that and our kid playing. So it's just a great organization. And it's been a great, that ball field, those ball fields collectively just kind of feels like home when we step out there. So I'm kind of glad that there might be a little slice left for me. So
I'm looking forward to it. Having a son who's playing, and I'm the type of dad who wants to do as much as I can to support him. And so if that means coaching, then I coach, right? I'll be coaching again this year. I've coached t-ball before, coached soccer, I've coached basketball, even though I don't know the first thing about basketball. But I'll do it to support him and make sure he gets what he needs, just like I will for everyone in this community. And so I'm glad to be part of that program. It's a great program. I've seen he's gotten a lot of relationships out of that.
It's my favorite part.
And, he goes to South End, and so he gets to meet kids from other schools and build relationships that he'll eventually see in high school.
Yep.
And so that's exciting. And just to get out and meet as many people as he possibly can is a gift.
Yep, I think so too. So, well, we are out of time. I knew that would happen to us.
Yeah.
I knew we would just get to the end and be like, well, okay, well, we're done. Not really, but we are. So thank you. Thank you for what you do, who you are, how you pour back into this community and into me and in this organization. And I'm just thankful that you're somebody that I can call. I mean, I have many times texted or called and said, Wes, can you help? And you always say yes. I mean, a lot of times I will say, if your wife is watching, you always make sure, you know, that you can make the time commitment.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just appreciate what you do. And I'm thankful for you. And I'm glad you're a part of my network. So thank you for being.
It's mutual.
Yeah, I think so. So. All right. Well, tell people how to find you really quick.
Yeah, I'm at First Presbyterian Church. We are right on Main Street, 318 South Main Street, just a 5-minute walk from the chamber. We are have programs all the time, but open every Sunday at 11 for worship, and everyone is welcome no matter who you are. Awesome.
Thank you, Wes. I appreciate it. All right, folks, that is it for today's News and Views. As always, you can find us in the heart of downtown Reidsville at 140 South Scale Street on all of our social channels and our website, reidsvillechamber.org. Thanks, and see you soon.